Hi, thank you for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host. Just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona, and hopefully today with our picks and your picks, it's going to be another profitable day for you. Thursday, March 28th, March Madness continues. Sweet 16, we get our first four games on Thursday night to watch here. So we're getting down to the nitty-gritty, the last two weekends of the college basketball season. And we got some great matchups for you here in this Sweet 16 matchup. We're going to go through the four games that we have that are on the schedule here, and also all of our bets. We'll be back tomorrow with the Friday night games as well, and then get you going into the 2-game Saturday, 2-game Sunday, so we can get this thing down to the Final Four. Out actually here in the Phoenix area in Glendale, Arizona. So playing at the football stadium as normal, or playing at these big stadiums for the Final Four. So let's get into March Madness. Let's get into Game 1, 4:09 out here in Phoenix, so 7:09 Eastern. Clemson, Arizona. This game being played out in LA. Arizona, 7.5-point favorite currently. Total around 152.5. This line looks like it could move to Arizona at 7 at some books. It's getting pretty juiced on that one there. To be really honest, Clemson's played, well, how do I put this? Clemson's played better than anticipated through the first two games of the tournament so far last weekend. Arizona played about what you expected. Arizona tends to get the ball down low. They make a lot of mid-range and in shots. Maybe not the best three-point shooting team. Clemson defends it okay in the painted area, so to speak. So on this one here, we're going to stay away from side and total on this game, or on the side, sorry, on this game. We do like this total on there, but so depending on what book you're at, we already made this bet at actually taking the under in this matchup. I think defensively, I think both teams are going to be able to kind of stifle the offenses a little bit in this one. So we are going to take the under here. Clemson, Arizona, under 72 total points in the first half and under 152 for the game. So Clemson and Arizona, under 72 total points first half and under 152 total points for the game in that matchup there. And Arizona's like one of the favorites to come out of the West, even though they are the 2 seed. Like I said, Clemson's played well through the first weekend. I don't know if they can continue to keep that up. They were a little inconsistent during the ACC conference, to say the least. They had a hot streak for a couple weeks and then a cold streak for a couple weeks, and played decent back and forth for a couple weeks. So kind of a little all over the board on that one. Next game up, 4:39 out here in Phoenix, so 7:39 Eastern. San Diego State and Yukon. Yukon, the number 1 overall seed in the tournament, and they have shown why during the first weekend. Now we're second weekend. This is a rematch of the national championship game where Yukon ended up beating San Diego State in this one as well. Somewhere around 10.5, 11-point favorite, 135.5 total. So we expect, San Diego State, in order to stay in this game, is going to have to get extremely hot from three. They are streaky from the three-point line. They can they can get that done, no question about that. Yukon is just a much better team here. Surprise number's only 10.5 to 11. Thought maybe we might be pushing closer to 14 on this particular one here. The one thing you got to kind of watch out for the tournament, it's pretty rare when one team goes through like unscathed without a close game. So that could be a possibility here. San Diego State's tough out. I mean, they're not going to give you the game. You're going to have to go take it. Now, they can get cold, like I said, from three land, and maybe they can't score any points, which makes it a little bit easier. But UConn's got it all. They're good offensively at all three levels. Three-point shooting, down at the basket. They can even hit from the mid-range. Defensively, they're really good on-ball defenders. Plus, they have a lot, rim protection back there as well. So those guys can be aggressive defensively. We just like UConn in this matchup. Are we going to take UConn every game? Maybe. But the way that they have been playing until they haven't really shown a chink in the armor whatsoever. The only time that they ever got really embarrassed was going to going to Creighton. But otherwise, and Creighton shot out of their mind in that game. But that's a true road game. These neutral site games, Yukon should dominate here. So we did take Yukon minus 6.5 in the first half, minus 11 for the game. One more time, our bets in this one: Yukon minus 6.5 in the first half, and minus 11 for the game. Next game up on the schedule: Alabama, North Carolina. This line keeps moving, folks. So, I'm going to tell you, we grabbed this earlier today at minus 3.5. It's at 4.5, 5 at a lot of books. I don't know if it's going to get too much higher than 5. 5 being a key number in basketball as well. But Alabama does not play. The biggest thing I can give you in this matchup here is Alabama does not play defense, and North Carolina can play stellar defense. The total at 173.5 is the biggest one on the board by 20 points plus. Now, North Carolina can score. They are not as good three-point shooting team as they have been in years past, but I don't think they're going to let Alabama get out and run. I think North Carolina is going to control the pace of this game. So we like several bets in this game here. So let's first of all give you this. It is 6:39 out here in Phoenix, so 9:39 Eastern. So folks out in the East Coast are definitely going to have to stay up late to watch this one here. But we do like North Carolina. Let's lay out the bets that we have so far for this game. So North Carolina minus 1.5 in the first half, minus 3.5 for the game. North Carolina, we also like them in Alabama under 82.5 first half and under 173.5 for the game. Like I said, I just think that total's way too big. Everybody saw Alabama; they could score 100 points. Yeah, but they could. But in that same game, they score 100. They could easily give up 120 as they play a lot of matador defense and just let you go by. So one more time in this North Carolina matchup against Alabama, North Carolina minus 1.5 in the first half and minus 3.5 for the game. And then Bama, Carolina under 82.5 total points in the first half and under 173.5 total points for the game. Like I said, it could be a track meet. I don't foresee North Carolina. They're going to have easy trips, but I don't see them making it easy for Bama to make shots. So that's why we like the under there with that huge number. If that number was 160, I think it's a different story. Now, this could be a sweated out, too, where, it could be tight going into the end at that 173 number. I just think North Carolina is going to get out on this game, make it hard for Bama to shoot threes, and Bama's going to kind of subside and let North Carolina continue to go on. And then we expect North Carolina and Arizona to be playing for that Western region final. So next game up, and then the last game of the night, Illinois, Iowa State, 2 seed Iowa State in the East, 3 seed Illinois. So the East pretty much held seeding except for San Diego State making it to the 5 and Auburn getting beat by Yale. But Iowa State, a 1.5 point favorite here over Illinois. Illinois, probably the best offensive efficiency in the country. Everybody talks they don't have a true point guard, but they somehow figure out how to pass the ball and get everybody involved. Even though Terrence Shannon's one of the best players in the country offensively, they still get everybody involved. It's just not a one-man show in this one. So 7:09 out here in Phoenix, so 10:09 start time out east if everything takes off on time. 145.5 total in this one as well. We do like Illinois. If you've watched us for the March Madness shows, we had Illinois going to the Elite 8, possibly even Final 4 there, maybe to upset Yukon because the number was very appetizing at that one there, to put it mildly. Iowa State, though, we love Iowa State. They won the Big 12 tournament. They have one of the best defenses in the country. They will make it tougher for Illinois to score. I'm not going to question that. Now, I have seen Iowa State, though, be able to put up some bigger point totals by themselves and to get into the 70s, which is kind of what you're going to need Iowa State probably to score 70-plus points here. But do not be – I know the number is 145, and if you've bet Iowa State all season long, your first inclination to see them at a 145 game is to bet the under. I think it's the opposite way in this one for me. Illinois does not play, top-notch defense. I think Iowa State will get some easy buckets, and I expect Illinois to continue to score at the pace they do. on that one there. So we do like Illinois in this particular matchup. So let's give you those bets. Illinois plus a half in the first half, plus 1.5 for the game. We also like the over, which we mentioned. Illinois, Iowa State over 68.5 first half and over 145.5 for the game. So one more time in this Illinois and Iowa State matchup. Should be the barn burner of the night. Illinois plus a half first half, plus 1.5 for the game. Illinois, Iowa State over 68.5 first half, over 145.5 for the game. So I mentioned this probably before during the episode, but at the end of every show that we do on YouTube, there will be a link to our Google Sheets, which is a ledger of all of our bets, what juice we got those at, how many units we bet, and then also what book we bet those at. You're going to be looking, if you're looking for these particular plays, you're going to just hit the link going into Google Sheets. Basketball 23-24. Scroll down to March Madness Sweet 16, March 28th, and you'll be able to see all of those bets there, what units and everything we have on those as well. So do make sure you check that out. This is our ledger for the whole season. We're up, I believe, right around 9,000 units so far between college and NBA so far this season. We do not have player props here available in Arizona for college. I know there are some states that do. We just don't have those, so unfortunately don't have any picks for you on those there. But do make sure you check that out. I think we had a really good weekend, except for Sunday. The Sunday was kind of a crusher last week, but Friday, Saturday, and Sunday were excellent. And we'll get back on the train here for you on this one. We really like. I mean, if you're looking for our best bet out of this bunch, North Carolina is definitely probably what we're leaning towards there. That's the one we have the most money on, and we have it on the side there. We like North Carolina, that first half bet especially. So make sure you check out those Google Sheets when you get some time. And as always, if you could subscribe and get notifications to our YouTube channel, so when we drop an episode of bets, you get those first. It makes life really simple to find us once you hit that subscribe button. Then we show up in your subscriptions tab, and you'll see a little dot next to it when we have a new episode that you haven't checked out yet. And if you want to make it even easier, turn notifications on for YouTube. You'll be able to get a notification to your phone or device to let you know Sports Bets for Free has dropped a new episode of bets. Give you plenty of time to match them up with your bets and give you that ton of confidence you need heading to the betting app or betting window. I do appreciate everybody's support as always, and look forward to seeing you on the next episode.